Good morning. So, this is a little class I pre-recorded because I'm away for the next week. We've got a 40 to 45-minute flow. I'm going to call it summer flow. Just want to get you moving, have a lovely little stretch, little breath work, and just enjoy. If there are any parts that you find a little bit more challenging, don't worry, just come into downward dog or child's pose and really just give your body whatever you feel it needs. Um, Remember, it's your practice, it's your body. Honor your body, give it what it needs, and enjoy. So I'm going to start lying down. I've got a couple of blocks here. I have a brick and a yoga block, and I've got a strap. So I'm going to keep them to hand. I always recommend have those blocks so that you can just reach them really easily. So we're going to start lying down. I'm going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, just easing down onto your mat. Lift the shoulders up, back and down, and allow everything to release. And we're just going to lie here for the next minute or so, taking some nice big deep breaths. Just engage with your breath and let it do its magic. Just gently calming and releasing body and mind. So taking big breaths in through the nose, right down into the belly. Feel the upper cavity expanding. And then as you exhale through the nose, just gently easing back down onto the mat. So breathing in and exhale. Be aware of any areas of tension and just try to breathe into them. Try to consciously relax. So when we start our flow, we're in a nice, relaxed, calm state. And as you find awareness of the breath, start to take those breaths slightly longer, slightly deeper. So you may be inhaling for a count of 4 or 5 and exhaling pretty much the same length of time. If you can, exhale a little bit longer. Let's empty the body so then we're ready to inhale with our next breath. So taking 2 more breaths in your Supta Baddha Konasana or however you are lying. And then maybe gently bring the hands under the thighs, guide the knees up. So your knees bent, soften the back into the mat, gently tilting the pelvic girdle backwards. I'm going to take the arms out, pretty much level with the shoulders, palms up, and gently start to rock the knees from side to side. Just go as far as feels natural for you as we gently release through the lower back, through the hips. And let's bring the arms into play. So next time you rock your knees to the left, bring the right arm over to meet the left fingertips, and then easing back. Rocking to the right, bringing left hand to right fingertips, and back. And we're going to repeat a couple more times. One more either side for good measure. Just stretching over and releasing back. Opposite side. And releasing back really nice. Let's just take a pencil stretch. So lengthening the legs out, stretching the arms up behind you. Big breath into fingertips and toes. And then drawing the hands down by your side. You're going to bend the knees again and gently push up into a very relaxed shoulder bridge. So just opening the front of the body, squeeze those glutes, taking a couple of breaths. And then softening down onto the mat. We're going to draw the knees to the chest, give them a big hug, little cuddle, just rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, you can make your way up to seated. So you can either turn onto your side into fetal position, or how about crossing the ankles, hands to the feet, scoop the lower back off the mat, and drawing yourself up. Well done. Now I always tend to start with a block under my hips, which just gently starts to open through the hip flexors, easing the knees below the hips, maybe. Draw the hands on the knees. Take a nice big inhale, lift those shoulders up, back and down. One more time, big breath up. And we're going to sweep those arms up, stretching up into fingertips. And softening down into heart center. One more time, big stretching up. And releasing back down. Just dropping the right hand down. We're going to ease over with the left arm. A few little gentle pulses. Feel that nice stretch into the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Coming back up to center, stretch up into the fingertips. Remember, the hands are an extension of your arms. And then dropping down, gently easing through on the opposite side. Bringing yourself back to center. Let's just stretch those legs out. Working the ankles, lift the nose to the toes and press away. Try and sit nice and tall. So you sort of feel as though you're lengthening the spine up out of the pelvis. And then with the toes lifted, we're going to stretch up and we're going to ease forward. Plant the hands either side of the legs. Nice big inhale into the breastbone, lengthening through the spine. And take a couple of breaths, get that lovely stretch through the hamstrings, into the lumbar spine. And easing yourself back up. Really lovely. Bend those knees. Now, if you're on a block, be careful you don't go flying back. We're going to bring the hands under the knees. Draw yourself up so you can feel the sit bones firmly grounded into the floor or the block. Float one leg, float two legs, lift the chest, draw the shoulders down. And if you're feeling strong enough, how about sending those arms out? Try not to collapse through the spine. Try and stay nice, strong, and lifted. Make those hip flexors work. A little bit of core. And then bringing yourself back down. We're going to come over onto all fours. A little bit of spinal work. So drawing yourself round. Plant the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. And so often I see people in a shortened stance, so they're not giving their spine enough space. So make sure you're honouring the whole length of the spine. And we're going to tuck the toes under, take a nice big inhale, lift the nose, lift the tail. And then as you exhale, scoop the hips forward, eyes to the knees, press the ground away with the arms. Inhale. And exhale, really scoop up. So we're trying to get as much movement through the spine as we can. Just being aware of any little tweaks. Anything that feels slightly uncomfortable, try to breathe into it, see if you can ease it, any little areas of tightness. And releasing yourself back. We're going to bring the big toes together, the knees apart. Send the sit bones back, reaching the arms out. Take a big breath into the back ribs, let the body lift, and then softening back down. Another big inhale, and soften into your mat. Take a couple more breaths here. Just feel that lovely stretch from the hands to the shoulders, from the shoulders to the hips. And then easing the hands back, you're going to bring yourself back up onto all fours. And we're going to come into our first downward dog of the day. So tucking the toes under, float the knees, ease yourself back, and start to gently pedal through. And I know the first downward dog always feels a little challenging, but by the end of your practice, you'll be fine. And if you wish, you can bend both knees. Try tilting the tail up to the ceiling, a little bit more length through the spine, and then releasing the heels towards the mat. You're going to float the right leg into a three-legged downward dog. Draw the foot to the buttock. Try and keep that knee lifted as high as you can. Get that lovely stretch through the front of the leg, extending the right foot to the ceiling. We're going to draw the knee to the nose, weight in the hands. Back into your three-legged downward dog. Drawing the knee to the nose. And release. Okay, we're going to bring that foot forward between the hands. If you need to help it along with your hand, then do, don't worry. Lowering the left knee down and easing yourself up into your low lunge. Let the hips come forward. Inhale, take a fold. Nice big breath. Coming back up. And folding. We'll do that one more time because it feels so good. So easing back up. And we're going to fold and hold. And then walking the hands forward, plant the left hand roughly in line with the right foot. And we're going to sweep the right arm up, turning the body to the side. Try and ease that right shoulder back behind you. And then draw the right hand down. Tuck the toes of the left foot. Let's step back into plank. And holding in plank. Really feel as though you're pushing up. Push the ground away. And we're going to soften ourselves down and come into Sphinx. So elbows under shoulders, hands out in front, nice wide hand span. With that little bit of compression through the lumbar spine, take a breath. And then easing yourself onto the mat. Hands are under the shoulders. We're going to come back up into box. Lengthen the spine. And then releasing into your downward dog. Take a breath. Float the left leg into a three-legged downward dog. Draw the foot to the buttock. Keep that knee lifted as high as you can. Extend your leg back into a three-legged downward dog. And we're going to draw the knee to the nose and releasing back up. Draw the knee to the nose and release. So you're ready. We're going to bring that left foot forward between the hands. Really round up through the spine. Create that space that you need. And then lowering onto the right knee. Lift the arms up. Low lunge. Inhaling, send those hips back. I'm going to fold over. Move back up. And sending the hips back up again. One more time, reaching up. And fold and hold. Try to resist the urge to move your foot backwards. Try and ease back from the hip. And take a breath or two. And then walking the hands forward, plant the hands, tuck the toes of the right foot, lift the knee off the mat, stepping back into your plank. And then lowering down onto the mat. Hands are under the shoulders. We're going to lift the shoulders up and back. This time coming into your cobra. Keep those hips firmly planted. Ease the shoulders away from the ears. And lowering back down. Well done. Hands under the shoulders, back into box. Tuck those toes under, a little length through the spine. And coming up into your downward dog. Take a nice big breath. And then we're going to walk the feet to the hands at the front of the mat. Coming into your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Release the head. Nice and relaxed. Relaxed arms, shoulders. You might want to put a little bit of micro bend through the knees. Slightly deeper stretch through the glutes. And then we're going to soften the knees and easing yourself out to come to standing on your mat. Well done. Sweep those arms up. Stretching up into fingertips. And then easing the hands to your heart center. Drop those shoulders. Let's take a breath or two. Now I'm going to have a little bit of a flow now. A few sun salutations. I'm just going to grab a drink. I'm all for staying hydrated. So my advice is always have water to hand. So feet planted. Lift those shoulders up, back and down, easing the arms up, stretch up into fingertips. We're going to come down into a forward fold. Halfway lift. Hands come wherever works for you. You're looking to extend the spine. And then placing the hands on the mat, we're going to step back onto the ball of the right foot, lower the right knee, lifting the arms up, hips coming forward. Frame the front foot, tuck the toes of the right, stepping back into plank. And then easing down onto your mat. Hands under the shoulders, lift the shoulders up and back, coming into cobra. Lowering back down. Press through the hands into box, tuck the toes under, and releasing into your downward dog. Float the left leg in a three-legged downward dog. Draw the left knee to the nose, plant the left foot between the hands. And we're going to lift the left arm, turning to the side. And then draw that hand down and stepping forward to the front of the mat. Soft knees, halfway left. Lowering the sit bones, deep squat. Use those glutes to push you up. And draw the hands down to your heart center one more time. Nice big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Plant the hands on the mat. Step back onto the ball of the left foot. Lower the left knee. And we're going to ease ourselves up. Low lunge. Frame the right foot. Tuck the toes of the left. Stepping back into your plank. Lovely strong plank. And then lowering yourself onto the mat. Hands are under the shoulders. Scoop the shoulders up. Rotate them back. Easing into the cobra. Make sure you squeeze those upper arms in. Working your upper back muscles. And lowering down. Press through the hands into box. Tucking the toes under. And releasing into your downward dog. Nice big breath in downward dog. It should start to feel nice round about this time. And then we're going to float the right leg into a three-legged downward dog. Right knee to nose, place the right foot between your hands, and then scoop the right arm up, turning to the side. And drawing your hand down, step forwards to the front of the mat. Soft knees, halfway lift. Lower the sit bones and easing all the way up. And drawing your hands down to your heart center. Nice big breath. We're going to come into our Utkatasana, our seated chair pose. So send the arms up, hips back behind you. Try and keep a nice long spine, pull the navel to spine. Just gently close the lower ribs down and holding. I'm going to draw the hands down, weight into the right leg, float that left leg, extend it out behind you. Use that core. And then lowering onto the ball of the left foot. Easing the arms up, and we're going to pull down into cactus arms. Easing up, pulling down. One more time, nice strong arms. Try to extend through the left leg. So we're really extending into the left heel. And then drawing the hands together. You're going to lower the left heel down. Send those arms back up, warrior one. And then windmill the left arm behind you, warrior two. Just settle in, nice opening through the groin. A little reverse warrior, up and over we go. And releasing back into warrior two. Ease the left hip back, reaching forward into your Trikonasana. Nice big breath in Trikonasana. Open the chest to the side of the room. And inhaling back up. Warrior two, ready for your Trikonasana. Reach forward. Let's thread that left arm around. Open the shoulder. Ease those hips forward and down. And then we're going to ease the left hip back to come back into your Trikonasana. Maybe extending the left arm to the ceiling. Easing back up, reverse your Trikonasana. Draw yourself back to center. Easing into the right knee, warrior one. Sending the hands behind you, clasp them together. Extend through the right leg. Take a little back bend if you wish. And softening back into the right knee, warrior one. We're going to pivot onto the ball of the left foot, lower the left hand, turning to the side, and then draw that right hand down, stepping back into plank, and softening down onto the mat. Hands are under the shoulders, lift the shoulders up and back, easing into cobra. Let's hold for a couple of breaths in cobra. And then lowering down. Press through the hands, coming into box. Tuck those toes under and releasing back into your downward dog. Then the right foot up into a three-legged downward dog. Bringing the right foot forward between the hands. Send that left foot up into a standing splits if you wish. And then draw the left foot to meet the right. Soft knees. Halfway lift. Lowering the sit bones and ease yourself back up. Draw the hands to your heart center and take a breath. Now I'm just going to switch to the other side of the mat. Stay exactly where you are, just so that I get to face you. Okay, so standing at the front of the mat, Swoop those arms up, easing back into your Utkatasana, holding. And we're going to send the weight into the left leg, lift the right foot, extending it back behind you. Hold for a breath or two. And then lowering onto the ball of the right foot, easing up, pulling down with your cactus arms. Ease up, little length, and releasing down. One more time. Easing up and pulling down. We're going to draw the hands together, lower the right heel, and then send those arms back up, and you are in warrior one. Easing that right arm behind you into your warrior two. Settle in, let those hips come forward and down. Nice central line. We're going to reverse our warrior. Coming back into warrior two. You ready for your Trikonasana? Ease that right hip back, reaching forwards. Trikonasana. Ease that right shoulder back, lengthening into the crown of the head. And then coming back up, warrior two. We're going to come into our Trikonasana. So reaching forward, lowering the left elbow down. We're going to send that right hand behind us, easing the right shoulder back. And then ease that right hip back. Extend the left arm, ease the right shoulder back. Extending the right arm up to the ceiling. Reverse your Trikonasana. Coming back into warrior two. Turn the hips to the front of the mat, warrior one. Draw your hands behind you, clasp them together. Let's lengthen through the left leg. So push back, take a little back bend if you wish, gaze to the ceiling. Softening into the front knee, draw those arms up. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot and plant the right hand in line with the left. Extending the left arm up to the ceiling, so right arm in line with the left foot. I think you got it. And then we're going to frame the left foot, easing back into your plank, and then dropping down onto the mat. Hands under the shoulders, lift the shoulders up and back. Draw yourself into your cobra. Lowering back down through the hands, coming into box, tucking the toes under, coming up into your downward dog. Take a breath. We're going to float the right leg in a three-legged downward dog. Right knee to nose, plant the right foot between the hands, and then an option to come into your standing split. And then drawing the left foot forward to meet the right. Soft knees. Halfway lift. Lowering the sit bones. Ease yourself all the way up. Draw the hands down into your heart center. Well, I'm just taking a breath here. I'm going to come back to the other side. I like being at this side of the mat better. I don't know why, but it works for me. Okay, so we're going to put those stretches all together and we're going to come into our half moon pose, our Ardha Chandrasana. So standing at the front of the mat, let's ease the arms out, stretching into fingertips, drawing the hands down, stepping back onto the ball of the left foot. And we're going to ease ourselves back into warrior two. I have a block. And then plant my block kind of diagonally in front of my right foot. Remember, it's called yoga practice for a reason. All we're doing is practicing. So if you don't get into pose straight away, you have a little wobble, don't worry, we all do. So from here, I'm going to send my weight forwards, coming onto my big toe, bending into the right knee. Find my block. I'm going to lengthen through the right leg and then tilt the left hip back, lift that left leg and opening up into my Ardha Chandrasana. Now I always say to people, if you try to envisage you're pressing that left foot back into a wall, kind of like, I don't know, I feel it gives a little bit more stability. That visualization, it encourages you to activate the muscles in the lifted leg, easing through the core. We lower it down a level. Yes, we can. Just holding, holding, as long as you can. And then bending into that right knee. Whoops! A wobble there. And then reversing your warrior, coming back over and easing back down. Really nice. Let's pivot onto the ball of the left foot, stretching up, freeing the right foot, stepping yourself back into your plank. Another little vinyasa, down we come. Hands under the shoulders, back into cobra. Couple of breaths here. Lowering back down, press through the hands, into box, tucking toes, back into downward dog. Nice big breath in downward dog, feel nice and strong. Float that left leg into a three-legged downward dog. Left knee to the nose, plant the left foot, and we're going to windmill the right arm up and round back into warrior two. I am turning around, you don't need to, but just so I can face you. I can face you. Let's hope I don't wobble this time. So it's particularly, isn't it, when you're recording, that's the time that you have that little wobble. So lengthening through. So remember, we're sending the body forwards, not down. So here we go. You're going to start to move forwards. Bring my block up a level. Allow the weight to go forward. So I'm onto the tip of my right foot. I'm going to plant the right hand, left hand, lengthen through the left leg, and then gradually unfolding into my warrior, my Ardha Chandrasana. Again, flex that foot, get that feeling that you are pressing into a brick wall behind you. Try and tilt that right hip back a little bit, shoulder back. Take a few breaths. Remember, we all wobble. And then we're going to bend into the left leg, drop the right leg, back into your warrior two. Hello, everybody. Pivoting round onto the ball of the right foot, frame the left, stepping yourself back into your plank, lowering down onto the mat. Hands under the shoulders, lift the shoulders up and back, coming up into cobra. I'm a big fan of cobra. I think it's sort of, I feel personally, that it's a much stronger pose than upward facing dog when we're here. And quite often people are just hanging off their shoulders. We have plenty of lengthening of the spine with other poses. So I always suggest bend those elbows a little bit, squeeze them in. Ease yourself back up. Let's take a child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, lengthening through the spine. Big breath into the back ribs. Exhale back down. And then coming forwards onto the hands, tucking the toes into your downward dog. We are going to float the right leg into a three-legged downward dog. Draw the right foot forward between the hands, easing yourself up into a high lunge. And you're going to come to goddess pose. Now I'm turning around, but you're not. As I say, I just like facing this way better. So in your high lunge, you're going to windmill that left arm behind you and then turn both toes outwards. We're going to come into goddess. We're going to send those arms up and we're going to pull down in our goddess pose. Allow the knees to open. Maybe try lifting the inner arches, the big toes. Can you sink a little deeper? Take a few breaths. Easing yourself up, reaching forwards and coming down into your wide-legged forward fold. Let the head drop. Relax through the shoulders, through the arms, and just lengthening through the legs, through the glutes. Option to place your right hand in the middle of the mat, lift the left arm, turn to the side. And bringing the left arm down under your face, lifting the right, turning to the side. Drawing yourself back to center. Nice big breath. We're going to bring the hands to the hips and you're going to use your core to bring up. So feel as though you're extending the head outwards as you draw yourself up. We're going to toe heel the feet towards each other. Let's kick those legs out, and if you're sideways on your mat, maybe turning to the front. And we're going to bring ourselves down onto the mat. So coming into your malasana, take the feet slightly wider than the hips, come onto the balls of the feet, draw the hands together and float down. If you can, drop your heels. Now, option for those who struggle with malasana, how about placing a block underneath you? And just lower yourself down, however feels comfortable. Sit on your block, take those knees apart, draw the hands in the middle, and just take a few breaths. Nice little alternative. Try squeezing the knees into the arms, wake up those adductors. We're going to come back into a full malasana because I like it. And that's what I feel I need this morning. So sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, you're going to drop onto your bottom. Bring the soles of the feet together, roughly 2 hand widths away from the pubic bone. Draw the feet in, hands around the feet. Take a nice big breath, lifting up and folding forwards. And you can press the elbows into the inner lower leg if you wish. So you can ease those knees down a little bit closer to the mat. If you're hypermobile, try doing it the other way around. Try squeezing upwards. So you're going to strengthen the joint rather than always just trying to release. If you're already there, there's not much room you can go. So just try an alternative. And then bringing yourself up, we're going to stretch those legs out. Don't know about you, I worked up a little bit of a sweat there. Toes are lifted, reaching up, folding forwards, Paschimottanasana. Big inhale into the back ribs, flattening down towards your legs. And there's always a little option. You could try bending the knees, and you're going to get a little bit more extension through the spine. And if you breathe through, you may find you can release the legs a little bit. Just go wherever your body needs to be. We're going to walk the hands back up. Take those feet apart. And if you just bring your hands by your side, lift yourself up, tweak the tail backwards, toes are lifted. And then when you sit down, you might be sitting slightly more in front of the pelvis rather than being back here, which is not where we want to be. So we're going to stretch up and we're going to come into our Konanasana, our wide leg forward fold, so stretching forwards, and then maybe taking the hands, maybe the knees, maybe the calves, maybe the ankles, maybe the feet, wherever you need to be. We're going to hold for a couple of breaths. Big breath in. Remember, it's when we exhale that we allow the body the opportunity to release a little bit. We create softness. If you're tense, you're never going to be able to take your practice as far as you potentially could. And we're going to draw the hands back in. Let's just send those arms up, a little side fold, dropping the left hand down, bringing the right arm over, ease that right shoulder back. Keep that right sit bone firmly grounded. And you may be able to come, might be able to draw the hands together. Sometimes that hand reaches the foot, it's not going to do it today. Every time you're on the mat, it feels slightly different. Get something different out of it, or your body responds slightly differently. Now come out of this stretch slowly. It's a big stretch. I'm going to plant my right hand down. I'm going to slowly ease back up. Take a moment, let the spine realign, and then we're going to work the opposite side. So I'm going to place my right hand down, draw my left arm up and over. See where it's going to go. Maybe draw the hands together. Maybe that hand might reach the foot. Maybe the upper. No, it's not going to work today. So I'm just going to go as far as is comfortable for me today. One more big breath in. Bring that softness. And then I'm going to bring my left hand down and just gently press against it to bring me back up to seated. Draw those legs together. And we're going to come into cross-legged. Take a couple of breaths. Lift those shoulders up, back and down. And we're going to ease the arms up, stretching up into fingertips. Draw the hands to your heart center. Maybe a little softness through the spine. Easing up one more time. Draw the hands down. Namaste. So I hope you enjoyed that. Always the opportunity to repeat. You might get something different every time. I will be back. I'll be back live in a week's time. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely week and enjoy.